Hey guys, what's up? It's Fern. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. So for today's video, I'm going to be going through all of my houseplant care supplies, things that I use all the time, things that I love. I'm going to tell you a little bit about them, and I'm going to try to link as many things as possible down below so that you can check them out for yourself. Really quickly, I just want to remind you to give this video a like. It really helps out my channel on the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe if you have not. Okay, I feel like this could be a long video, so let's just jump into it. So this is the bin that I normally keep all of my plants, well, not all of my plant supplies, but my most used plant supplies, I guess, in here. Is just a random grocery store bin. It's empty right now because I have taken everything out and categorized it, or else this video would take forever because that bin was a hot mess before. So the first category is going to be watering slash fertilizer. This is the giant water bottle that I use to water my houseplants most of the time. It is 2 liters, and that's the reason I like to use it, because it's clearly marked how much liquid it holds, and that makes it really easy for me to calculate how much fertilizer I need to put in. So I pretty much just know how much I need to put in by heart now because I have already done the calculations. It's a lot harder with a watering can because it's harder to tell how much water it's holding. As for fertilizers, my regular fertilizer that I use for most of my houseplants is by Miracle-Gro. It's just an all-purpose liquid fertilizer, nothing fancy. I've had this for years. My mom gave it to me, so I'm just using it up, but there's still like half left, so I think I'm gonna have it for a while. And whenever I fertilize with that fertilizer, I pretty much always mix in some SuperThrive. I'm sure you've seen me talk about this before. It's basically a vitamin supplement for plants. It's really awesome stuff. You can also use it for propagations and for semi-hydro. I used it with Leca for my Thai constellation. And if you're in Canada, I got this from Canadian Tire. Next, this is the cactus fertilizer that I have been using for my cactus and succulents. I have only been using it for a month, so I don't really have too much to say about it, but it's by Schultz and it's a liquid fertilizer. So far, so good. Next is one of my favorite fertilizers. It is the Orchid Plant Food Mist by Miracle-Gro as well. This stuff is awesome for Hoya. I don't have any orchids, so I've never used it on an orchid. I'm sure it works fine, but Hoya love this. They can actually feed through their leaves, so you just mist this all over their leaves, and I mist a little bit on the soil as well, and it will help them grow faster. So yeah, this stuff is awesome. Next is my moisture meter. You can pretty much find these anywhere at any garden center slash hardware store. This is super useful, especially if you're a beginner or if you're getting to know a new plant, or if you have a large pot, all kinds of situations. This comes in super handy to make sure that you're not overwatering. Next, I have these little squeeze bottles. I found these on Amazon, and these are super handy for refilling propagation vessels. That's the main thing I use them for. You can just like get into like little small openings, and yeah, that's pretty much all I use them for, but it's really handy. Okay, so next category is going to be pest prevention. Oh my goodness, yes, this is a large part of my life because I feel like I always have a houseplant pest to deal with. So the first thing I have is this pressure spray bottle, I guess. I'm not really sure what it's called. So basically you fill this up and then you pump it, and then it just sprays. You just push this down and then it'll just continuously spray until the pressure is too low, and then you have to do it again. But I use this when I make my neem oil solution and I have to spray down a bunch of plants. It really saves my hand from like squeezing a regular spray bottle. I just got this at my local garden center. I think you can find it at lots of places as well. I've seen similar ones around. So speaking of that, I will show you the neem oil that I use. This is by Plantonics, and I actually had to order this from Amazon.com, so the American Amazon, because you cannot buy neem oil for plants like this, like a large bottle, in Canada, as far as I know. I know you can buy small ones at health food stores, but yeah, in order to find this, I had to order it from the US. I guess, yeah, I'm not sure. There's like weird stuff going on with neem oil in Canada. It's like banned for use as a pesticide or something. I don't really know why, because it's natural, but yes, a lot of my Canadian viewers ask me where I get my neem oil, and yeah, that's the one I get. I had to order it from there. I'll link it down below. It does last a long time though. It's kind of expensive to buy up front, but it lasts a long time. Okay, next is my Savers insecticidal soap. This is basically what I use when I only have one plant to treat, or I just need to do it quickly, or I'm too lazy to mix up my neem oil solution. I will just spray with this. I find that it works really well. But yeah, I usually try to use my neem oil, but if I'm just doing like a quick treatment, then I will use this just because it's easy. It's already mixed. And then another Savers product I have is their Defender fungicide. It's for black spot, powdery mildew, rust. I at one point thought that my begonia had powdery mildew. I don't know if it ever did, but I bought this to treat that. I did treat it and it's doing well now, so I don't know, who knows. That's really the only time I've used this. Actually, I did use it when I had mold on a plant once, and I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but mold is like a fungus, is it not? I don't know. But yeah, I don't use it very often. Don't really have too much to say about it. Maybe one day I'll have more fungi to deal with. Next, I have hydrogen peroxide. This is good for when you have fungus gnats or when you have root rot, to mix with water and then water your plant. Hydrogen peroxide is not going to damage your plant, but it will kill those things from the soil or from on the roots. Okay, and then I have isopropyl alcohol. I have used this for a couple of different pests. So I have used this, I've added it to my neem oil solution and sprayed spider mites and used like a scrubby makeup brush to clean off the leaves. It's the method that, I believe it's heart-shaped leaves. I think it's Rachel that I got that from. And then I've also used isopropyl alcohol for scale. I've scrubbed down pretty much my entire large Monstera deliciosa with rubbing alcohol to kill scale with one of these little cotton pads. I don't know if you can see, they're just like the makeup round pads. Something reusable would be better, but that's just what I had. And then I've also used this for mealybugs on a cotton swab. If you just dab them, then they'll die. So very versatile to have in your pest management collection. It's kind of crazy that all this stuff fits into that bin. But yes, and then, oh, this is just a random spray bottle because the sprayer on this is broken, so I have to pour it into this one. I also have just another random spray bottle. I usually just have this one full of regular water. It has a little bit of neem oil in it right now. That's why it looks kind of weird, but I usually just have this full of plain water and use it to mist plants. I don't mist plants very often. It doesn't really do much in my experience, but yeah, I do mist sometimes, I guess. So yeah, that's why I have that. Next, we are going to talk about potting. Oh my goodness, I hope this video isn't like terribly long for you guys. I'm sorry. So these are all of my produce nets that I save from things like tomatoes, avocados, oranges. Save your nets because it's so useful to put in the bottom of your pots to prevent all the soil from going through the hole. I used to use a t-shirt to do that, and I found that it was really like blocking the drainage and creating mold in my pots. So don't do that. Yeah, the nets are working really well, so love that. And you get to reuse these, so that's awesome. Next thing I have just chilling is a chopstick. I use this to aerate soil, which, to be honest with you, I don't do that often. I should really do it more because I know it's good to aerate the soil of our plants, but I do have it in case I ever want to do that. And then next, I just wanted to show you my favorite pots. Like I just showed you my terracotta pot. Terracotta is my pot of choice just because it works for my climate. I live on Vancouver Island, so it's like a rainforest climate, and I'm more likely to overwater than underwater. So terracotta pots are perfect because they wick some moisture. So that's one reason I love them. And the other reason is just aesthetically, I think they're so beautiful. I love the look of terracotta. So yeah, that's like one thing that's holding me back from transitioning more plants to leca, is because I just love the way terracotta looks. It's so beautiful. And then my other favorite pots, which I get a lot of questions on, is these plastic orchid pots. I have them in a variety of sizes. I actually most commonly use like the tiny ones. But yeah, these are awesome. I love these because you can watch the roots, you can see the progress of young plants and propagations, and you can make sure that other plants aren't rotting, aka my Thai constellation. So yes, I got these at a local garden center, but you can get them online. I will link them down below. Next is my storage bin for my soil. It's just a large kind of like flat bin that I can store under a shelf. But this is really awesome because I can mix my soil in here and store it, so I don't have to be mixing it every single time. And I also got this scoop. I think this is just like a poop scoop. I got it in the pet section, but it's perfect for scooping my soil. And I've gotten a couple comments that are like, oh, like the best part of potting plants is like feeling the soil. And yeah, that's great, but this is just way better for actually like getting the soil in rather than just like with your hands spilling it everywhere. So yeah, this has definitely changed the game for me. It's not very full right now. I need to mix more soil up, but yes, I love storing my soil this way. Or potting mix. Soil, potting mix, whatever. I don't know what category to put this in, but this is a liquid root stimulator with fungicide by Wilson. It's just called Roots. I honestly have only used this a couple of times. I remember when I bought it, I thought it was a powder, but it's actually a gel, which is weird. I don't really know. Like maybe I could dip my cuttings. Maybe I could dip my cuttings in this for when I do my like sphagnum moss propagation box. I don't really know, like I don't really know how to use this, I guess. So I haven't really used it yet, and I don't really have a review. I really want to try the, what is it called? Crazy Kiki paste or something like that. I really want to try that stuff, but yeah. Okay, next we're quickly going to be talking about lighting. The lights are obviously like fixed around my home, so I'm just going to be inserting footage. But the first types of lights that I use are just those metal clamp lamps with grow bulbs that I got on Amazon. I don't even remember what brand they are, but I'll have them linked below. They seem to be working well, and they're super convenient because I can just clip onto a shelf or clip in different places around my home. So I like those. And then the second type of bulb situation that I have, I guess, is just hanging bulbs from my ceiling. I just got a socket from Amazon and then used hooks to suspend them from my ceiling and put them near plants that needed some extra light. So I have one of those above my Monstera and above my regular Monstera and above my Monstera Adansonii, and they seem to really like them. It works well. And then the third lighting situation that I have, which is my favorite by far, is my Mars Hydro grow light. As you guys have seen me talk about many times before now, because I'm so impressed with it. I have it fixed to one of my plant shelves, and yeah, it's just freaking amazing. Okay, and the last thing that I'm going to be talking about, I hope I haven't missed anything really important. I'll leave it in the description box if I have missed something, but the last thing I'm going to talk about quickly is just trellises or ways to stake plants. So this is one of my favorite things that I've used. They're just these little trellises, and I actually found these at the dollar store, which was awesome. They came in packs of 3 for $3.50. So yeah, they're very cute, like no complaints. I think they're made of bamboo. Yes. You usually want to find something made of bamboo because it's not going to rot. If you just grab like a stick from your yard, chances are it's going to rot. So yeah, beware of that. And then the next thing I've used is just a regular plain stake from, I think I got this from a hardware store, just as a pointy end to put in the soil, and then you can fasten your plant onto it. So yeah, I've used these a couple of times. And then I also have used really large like bamboo U-shaped ones. I'll insert some footage of that. My Monstera has one. And then to fasten plants to whichever stake you're using, I love this plant Velcro tape stuff. I just got this at Canadian Tire as well. You can get it usually at any garden center or on Amazon probably, But yeah, this stuff is awesome and I love it because it's reusable. So I reuse the little pieces that I cut off and it lasts a super long time. And then the last things I have are just some twine and scissors. I've used this to, what did I use this for? Oh yeah, I used it when I was making my moss pole, which I don't even have anymore because it was for my philodendron Florida Ghost, which I recently sold, which is very sad. I will be getting another one because I love that plant. But yeah, I used that to make my moss pole, which was a pain in the butt, and that's like a whole other, I don't even keep those supplies on hand because that was just annoying to make. I'm back for a second, guys, because I forgot something important, and the reason I forgot it is because I'm not using it because it's the summertime and I don't need to. This is mostly something I use for the winter time, but it is very important, and it is my humidifier. So yeah, I had to include this in here. This is by Elec Homes. I actually have a whole video where I unbox this and set this up, so you can check that out. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that this is the one I've been using. I also have a Levoit one, which is really good. I like it, but I prefer this one because it's easier to fill. It fills from the top, which is super handy. So yeah, I really like it. I'll probably have both of them set up and running for the winter time, but yes, this is my humidifier of choice. So yeah, I have to throw that in there. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. If you have made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. Let me know any questions you have down below. I think the only thing I didn't really go into is the different supplies that I use to make my potting mix. And I figured I could just make a whole separate video on that if you guys are interested in how I make my potting mix and what I use for different plants. So let me know if you'd like to see that video and I will put it on my list. Other than that, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you and I hope you're well, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye.